Okay, let's turn our attention now to James Trethewey and ask him the question around how important is the power of a financial idea with the marketing message that you take to business and to the market?
Yeah, so Peter, LCI actually stands for life-changing ideas, and I think that the slogan, and talking about the power of financial ideas, we're just trying to encapsulate what we do for people because you can kind of be sitting there in a round table, and there could be myself, Jerry, the managing partner, and he's the head of the accounting and business advisory. We might have legal, and as a round table, just the seed of an idea, and just what that represents for a client is just so powerful and can just change someone's life.
And so, James, this idea of a financial idea, is that an important part of your marketing to differentiate your business?
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of different firms and businesses out there with a different proposition, and we're really distinctly different because we actually have all of those services and offerings in the one house. And I've been in other practices and firms where, you're advising and then they've got another accountant or, they've got to go see someone else for their legal and, lending. And so a lot of the conversations that we have with clients is a big round table meeting, bringing in experts across multiple different fields. And, I guess giving clients a different perspective, and that can result in a really powerful financial idea or, a life-changing idea for them that, otherwise wouldn't be known if you're just sort of looking at a narrow focus of, their world or business or wealth.
Okay, so given you were a small business, obviously it started off as a small operation and it's grown over time. But how does a business like yours actually use the internet to effectively link up with people looking for advice, looking for various sorts of products? Have you got a strategy around connecting to a wider audience as well as your own internal audience?
We haven't formalised a strategy per se. We do get a lot of inquiries through the web. There is a huge opportunity for things like SEO or targeted marketing for, say like a unique idea, like somebody selling a business and they need to get advice. And we're very well equipped and placed to service somebody like that, or give them, advice in, starting a business or getting going. So there's definitely opportunity there to do it. Because of the business being around for quite a while, we have just sort of, we've got enough business with the existing clients and referrals from those clients. So, we're doing something right there. But what I would love to see is that, we do use the internet and marketing to, bring in different types of clients and new clients as well, especially the ones that we can really specialise to help.
And you said the business has been around for 35 years or so. How do you maintain your relevance and not become stale?
The business has been around for 35 years and, there's probably, I've got to count now, there's a couple of new partners on board, but there's probably like 6-7 partners across the business. So I'm the partner for wealth, and that's my business within the business with the main two partners. So I guess there's a lot of difference in experience, age, bringing in new ideas from those different partners. But for us to really stay relevant, we need to stay at the top of our field, the top of our game. So that's education, technical expertise and knowledge. And then the landscape, as you know, in financial services is just constantly changing and shifting. So, we need to be across all of those changes and then be adaptable. COVID in the last couple of years has really probably thrown a spanner in the works in terms of how we operate, because we are largely face-to-face and, see clients face-to-face. Pretty much overnight, we just had to find new ways of working. And so, using technology, and new systems, new processes in order to meet with clients and do what we do just in a different way. So it's things like those changes that you just really need to stay in front of, as well as trends and shifts in the industry. For myself in wealth, there's thematics like ESG. We're talking a lot about the environment today, which is really awesome to hear. I think people just, coming to the table with, some of their own knowledge that because of the internet now, people can do their own research and, they might come to you with a bit of an idea of what they'd like to do already. So it's just staying in front of all of those things. And I think most importantly is listening to the clients and that's what we're there to do, and then make sure that we're servicing them in the way that they'd like us to service them.
How have you learnt to prepare your clients for the fact that you're not a stock market genius, but you are actually good at knowing the rules around tax as it pertains to finance, the rules around superannuation, all those things have a big material effect on someone's future wealth. Have you actually gone to the effort to try and learn how to be good at the psychology of talking to a customer?
Absolutely, I have. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to this stuff. There's a behavioral sciences team over in, the Chicago in the US, and it's kind of like the FBI profilers, but for, behavioral sciences. And it's an insane world that exists. And once you have a bit of an understanding about behavioral bias, confirmation bias, things like that, and you're just sort of educating and guiding your clients, that's really where you deliver the performance and the returns, from helping them not to make a mistake or do the wrong thing. So with our clients, they literally call us for everything, whether it's, shares or businesses or ideas, and, just to have a chat. And I think being that kind of voice of reason and, working through things with them has really made a difference. So to answer your question, Peter, I think that it's really important to give, the clients plenty of education up front and just position what you're there to do. Make them aware of the risks and, show them sort of, the markets, resources, education, explain things like volatility and, show them long-term returns and outlooks, and really sort of building a plan and a strategy that's sort of suiting their needs. So I think when you're positioning all of that up front and then continually on an ongoing basis, you're really helping to manage the expectations around, returns, performance, what you do, and then that behavioral sort of finance and the coaching element really comes into play.
Alex, what about you? Do you target your marketing messages depending on the audience that you're trying to attract?
Definitely. There were some changes to Facebook and Instagram last year that has meant, for privacy reasons, you're no longer able to target based on characteristics. I know Mac probably knows about this too with her advertising background. But so what that has meant is that we use our email marketing for more targeted sends. So we give people the option to select whether they're interested in baby or adult bedding or pet, and we'll send advertising that's relevant to their interests, and that is definitely the most effective way for us to market.
Well, what about you, Mac? What are you actually thinking about the audiences that you're ultimately chasing, and creating different messages and using different platforms to do it?
Yeah, definitely. So we have two different streams of customers, really. We've got like the chefs and wholesale side, and then we've got the retail side. So yeah, the messaging is definitely different for both, and you have to kind of change the way that you're communicating with those people depending on what they're after. And also James made a really good point about education. So a lot of what we do with chefs and also the retail customers is educating them that agriculture is not as predictable as they would like it to be. So there are going to be crop failures, there are going to be things that go wrong. So we try and be as reliable as we can, but Mother Nature is unreliable.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, I've got you there. I'm going to go back to James in a moment, but how do you make your business stand out from the crowd?
We're just really honest. We don't try and have like a shtick or anything. It's just who we are. This is our lifestyle, and we just tell our story, and it just seems to resonate with people.
So you're trying honesty as a good policy, eh? Great stuff. What about you, Alex? What's your stand up from the crowd marketing strategy?
Well, for us, it starts with the product, and we're really focused on prints and colour. And because Kate and Hayley and I have designed those from the get-go, it's, I think, something that people aren't able to replicate, because it's our own personal tastes and aesthetic that we put into these products. We don't have trend forecasting teams or follow any particular other brands. It's really just what we like. And so we're able to be really nimble and innovative and just try new things because we want to. And sometimes they stick and sometimes they don't. But I think that, that innovation is what kind of makes us different to the competitors.
And finally, you, James? What do you think LCI partners? I always say to people when I meet a new business, I say, well, why should I buy from you? And in many ways, that message you put out there has to answer that question.
Yeah, I think that we really tapped into the clients that we already look after, and to know why they are with us. And we found that even the ones that do sort of, not graduate, but, go to the top tier, so they go up to the next level, a lot of the time want to come back. And you ask why, and they say it's that level of personal service. And so, I think with the clients, being there in that personal touch and that relationship. So for us to stand out from the crowd, we're really just focusing on what we really do well, which is that relationship and client service. The other big point of difference that I touched on is having that kind of one-stop shop where we've got all of those services and divisions in the one house, and we can have that round table conversation and really get to know our clients, the businesses and their families very well, and better service them and kind of have those internal discussions with each other to give better outcomes.
Well, thanks, James, Alex, and Mac. There's some fantastic ideas for people out there who want to build businesses like yours.